Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Today we're going to talk about XRP and its drop below 28 cents, which was a critical support zone. Um, it was a critical support zone that it hasn't really breached in nearly a year. Every time it's come to around 28, 29 cents, it has actually it actually went back up. But yesterday, because of Bitcoin's fall, it actually blew through the barrier. And before I went to sleep yesterday, I actually posted on my community chat that XRP has fought. Well, actually that was an hour ago, but 11 hours ago, I actually said XRP support is showing weakness I haven't seen in a while. I hope it bounces back above 30 tomorrow. A lot of it's dependent on if Bitcoin bounces up tomorrow. And obviously that hope did not come true because we shot straight past the 28 cent barrier, which actually has held as a barrier for about a year now. Now you can see that after it actually shot down, it actually did come back up. It has come back up a little bit, and now it's at 269, almost at 27 cents again. Well, it just passed 27, so there's a bit of a mini pump right now, and it actually might get back up to 28. It actually might get back up to 28 even before I upload this video, or it could go back down. But the problem here is even if it does get back above 28, it shows weakness in that support. That support has not been breached or really even tested in a year. But what I've been noticing in the recent weeks or months is that we've been continuously eroding that kind of support because if you look at even the last month, we've been dipping straight down in terms of XRP ratio, and I guess I was just hoping against hope that support would not breach, but it obviously did. Because if we look at a few weeks ago when Bitcoin was at around 9,400, at its low around 9,400, if you look at the low where Bitcoin was actually around 9,400, XRP didn't even breach 28 cents. And the thing is, Bitcoin was about 700 points lower, 95, 9,400, and XRP at that point on July 27th or so, if we take a look, XRP was actually still at 28 cents or so. So we've actually breached a new low for almost a year now. We haven't been this low since basically right before the XRapid launch, and even right before the XRapid launch, we only breached this price. Actually, we hardly even breached 26 cents, but we only breached this price for a few hours before the announcement that actually popped everything up. But I don't really see another big announcement actually bringing it up that much anymore. You can see on July around here, we were actually at 31 cents last time when Bitcoin was at 9,400. Now Bitcoin's at 10,100, and we are here at 27 cents. The next support is 25 cents, and I don't know of a support after that. I know 28 cents has been the strongest support for a year now, and that has just been broken through. And I actually saw the support, like I said in my comment yesterday, the support actually weakening, because what I noticed yesterday night was that when it was still around 29.1 cents, I noticed that when Bitcoin moved down $50, XRP actually moved accordingly 0.1 or 0.2 cents, and I actually haven't seen that kind of movement in almost a year. So I knew by that there was some problems with that support and it could actually break through. Now, like I said, it is bouncing back up right now. So there seems to be an upward pattern ever since it actually dipped that low. But even if it bursts through 28 again, that means there's some rebound. But if Bitcoin dips again, it's probably going to break through 28 again because that support is no longer solid. That support has actually stayed, like I said, for more than a year. And remember, when Bitcoin was at $3,000, it didn't even go below 28. So we are actually below the price XRP was at when Bitcoin was only $3,000. Even if it bounces back, it's very likely to go back down because the support's just not there anymore. It was eaten through and it was busted through. Is it some whales selling? Looking at the graph, yeah, it did fall off a cliff, so it could be Jed or any of the whales selling. But it looks like there was a sudden drop in the volumes, sudden loss of confidence. And right now, I would be looking at 25 cents as the next barrier. If we break through 25, we might actually be in for a lot lower. Now, the main issue with this is that Bitcoin has really been on retrace ever since it got to 13,700. Each peak since then actually has been lower than the last peak. And there's a good chance, if I look at the Bitcoin graph right now, that we could be retracing towards 9,000. And if we lose 1,000 more in terms of Bitcoin price, there's a good chance that XRP will break through the 25-cent barrier. And then all the supports would actually be gone, and you just be going back and forth with Bitcoin price. The real fear here is that Bitcoin might have maxed at 13,700 a few months ago, and now it's just retracing. Remember, Bitcoin started the year at around 3,200, so even if it retraced to 7,000, you still can't say it's a bear market because you're still over twice where you were at the beginning of the year. So even if it retraces to 7,000, the whole year is actually bullish. So for Bitcoin investors, that's great. But the thing is, XRP is actually significantly below now where it actually started the year. It started the year at 34 cents or something, and now at 27 cents, it is a good 20% or so almost below where it started the rest of the year. And if Bitcoin dips to 7,000, there is a good chance that XRP will break 20 cents because the support is no longer there. You can see it suddenly lost Satoshi ratio against Bitcoin sometime yesterday. And even though it's trying to mini pump right now, even if it does pump above, when Bitcoin dips again and the whole market dips, XRP will dip. Now, the silver lining to this is that it's dipping while everything else is dipping. And some of the other coins like Ethereum, it's dipped just as hard. You know, Ethereum, Litecoin, they've dipped nearly as hard. But the thing is, with those cryptocurrencies, I never really thought there was a bottom anywhere. You know, I said Ethereum was probably a pretty good pickup under $200. I still think that, but I didn't really think there was a bottom for Ethereum. Same thing with Litecoin. Definitely not for Litecoin. Or even with VeChain. I didn't really think there was a bottom for VeChain either, or Cardano or Tron. So the entire market is suffering, and that's why XRP is dipping. But it's very concerning for me because it dipped past it actually did dip past its year-long support. And the thing is, like most of these coins like Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, they're still very, very far above where they actually started the year in terms of price. XRP is about 20% below where they started the year in price. And if it breaks through 25 cents, like I said, I don't see another support below it, and it could go way, way down into the teens if Bitcoin dips back to like 7,000 or something. Remember, at 7,000, Bitcoin once again is over twice where it was at the beginning of the year. If Bitcoin dips back to 3,000, that would just be like Armageddon for the rest of the alts. And I really, really hope that doesn't happen. And I don't think that will actually happen. So I still think Bitcoin can dip close to 9,000. We'll have to watch the 25-cent support. But along with all the other coins, XRP has a decent chance of just collapsing entirely if it breaks past 25 and goes into the teens. The other coins risk that too, but I don't think there was any kind of perceived bottom for any of the other coins, and it just might go down with Bitcoin. The main reason why I thought XRP was a good investment now was because of kind of the safety value. But now the safety value because the 28-cent mark has held for so long, and I didn't think it would actually break. But now that it has broken, I'm not really sure if it's such a good investment for the short term or the midterm. I still believe in XRP for the long term overall, but that's a very, very long-term project. Brad Garlinghouse did say that he expects $1 billion worth of volume by the end of 2020, and that's a year and a half off. So that's much more of a long-term horizon. So with a short midterm horizon, I'm not so confident in it anymore. Now, the silver lining to all this is that since the bottom actually broke, you know, when we go back up, might not be such a cap anymore. So since the support broke, I'm hoping the resistance isn't really there anymore. And when Bitcoin goes back up, we could see XRP rise to 40, 50, maybe even possibly 60 cents again. That's the hope at least. But there's actually no evidence of the top actually, you know, popping off because we haven't gotten to that point yet. But there is solid evidence of the bottom of the support actually falling out. So please watch the 25-cent support. And if that breaks, then you might want to reevaluate your investment in XRP, and maybe just stack back up into Bitcoin. And I would say this for a lot of the other alts too, because Bitcoin, despite its technical shortcomings, it does seem to be a better investment over the next couple of months than any of the other coins. I would say Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, because Bitcoin Cash most closely follows Bitcoin. So that is my review right now. That's why I'm kind of concerned, and I'm really hoping the 25-cent I'm really hoping the 25-cent bottom actually holds. All right, let me know what you think. Thank you and have a nice day.